Hi, I'm Debs and I'm here with David Atherton. You may know him as the winner of the Great British Bake Off, but he's also the VSO health expert and he's a returned volunteer as well. And today we're going to be baking with him. So what will we be making today?
We're going to do some fairy cakes, but they're a little bit different. They're kind of slightly healthier. It's ones that I made when I was in Malawi actually. I volunteered for 2 years for VSO Malawi. So you've got the usual things like flour, eggs, sugar, and some oil, but then also some slightly more curious ingredients. We've got carrot, which is, when I was in Malawi, we had a project where a lot of the kids had vitamin A deficiency, and carrots have a lot of vitamin A in them, so we used a lot of carrots. Banana, which has lots of potassium and other things, but also works like an egg to bind cakes. And then we're going to put spinach in as well, which looks quite bizarre like that, but when it's whizzed up, it gives a really bright green colour, which is cool, and it also just has loads of iron and loads of vitamins in as well. So to start, I'm going to ask you to grate the carrot, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you do that like a really fine grate,
Okay.
it kind of just goes into the cake. You don't really notice it as much, but it gives a really nice moistness. And then at the same time, I'm just going to blend some of the other ingredients together.
Fantastic. So with this blending, I presume you wouldn't have a blender when you were volunteering in Malawi.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so we didn't have a blender. We have a lot of fancy tools and equipment in the UK, but you can learn how to do things without it. And I actually like the process. In Malawi, we had one of the big pounders, like a big pestle and mortar, and you'd have to pound this. So it'd take quite a long time, but it's all part of the fun of baking. It shouldn't all just be there. I mean, if you're just looking for the finished article, you could just buy it. But we don't have a pounder here, and so we are just going to blend this. So we've got the spinach, we've got the banana, I'm going to put a couple of eggs in.
And how did you come across this recipe?
So this recipe I made up actually, because I obviously like baking. I wouldn't have applied to a baking show otherwise. But when you're over in another country and there's a different culture, you might have to learn how to do things in a different way. So for this recipe, I had to try and substitute certain things. So that's why I was trying to think of how can it be more healthy, but also how can we use different ingredients to get a similar outcome. I'm going to put some vanilla in. In Malawi, we didn't use vanilla. We used different flavours. In fact, one time someone made these cakes and they put mint in, which I thought was going to be disgusting, but actually was quite tasty.
Wow, so you might just surprise yourself with some of these recipes.
Yeah, go for it. I think trying different flavours is really important, I think. And you may not get it right every single time, but it could still be good. So you're going to continue grating that.
Yeah, get on
I'm going to go and whiz this up, and then we'll get to the next stage.
Fabulous.
Right, I have this blended mix now.
Great. Oh, it looks good. And I think that should be enough carrot. What do you think?
Cool, perfect. Let's put it in.
Great.
So, chuck in with this.
Okay. Ooh.
And then all we're going to do is add the flour, and we're going to add some baking powder. And that's it.
Listen.
Yeah, chuck all that in.
So did you get much chance to bake when you were volunteering in Malawi? Because I know you were working, training midwives, training nurses. Must have been pretty busy.
Yeah, I still did get time to bake actually. It's difficult because you are busier when you're on placement, but then you also have a lot of free time. There's a lot of things like you don't have TV, so you bake, but then baking takes a lot longer than you think. So I had a garden, so I grew all my own vegetables, which was really nice. But it's just the process. Yeah, I love peanut butter. So as an example, I grew my own peanuts, and then you got to shell them, and then you got to roast them, and then you got to pound them for 4 hours, or it took me 4 hours, just to get a kilo of peanut butter. So everything took a lot longer, but I just loved learning all these different ways of doing it, and also learning from them. I learned a lot about Malawian cuisine as well, which was really good. Right.
Wow.
See, that looks kind of like a normal cake mix.
It looks strange. I think it's the green. That would be the spinach, right?
Yeah, and you can kind of see the bits of carrot, but yeah. So now we're just ready to, if we put the oven on, we should preheat that.
Yes.
To 180, and then we can actually start filling the cases.
Brilliant.
these are ready to go in.
Great.
Green sludgy stuff. So we're going to put it in at 180 and we're going to put them in for 15 minutes.
Okay, nice.
Icing wise, when I was in Malawi we didn't use icing. It's definitely not a very Malawian thing. But I think when you're doing fundraising, people like to see a little bit of colour on top, adds a bit of sweetness. So we're going to make like a cream cheese icing. So we do need some butter and some icing sugar and some cream cheese. A bowl. So if you can just start mixing the butter and the cream cheese together in a bowl.
Okay.
And then just to make this a little bit more VSO, we're going to add some beetroot powder. So this is like freeze-dried beetroot and then ground into a powder. It's going to make it pink. You can, not yet, just these two first. Okay. It's going to be very pink. You could just use food colouring for this, but I like to do things naturally. So once again, this has got loads of good anthocyanins in them. So this has got like antioxidants and things. Wow,
very nice. And where can people watching find something like beetroot powder?
Beetroot powder, I got this online. It was really easy. I mean, it's so easy to shop online now. It's not going to be in the supermarket, but then you get quite a lot and you only ever use like a teaspoon at a time. So yeah, it can last quite a while.
Quite a striking colour as well.
Yeah, it's very VSO, isn't it?
Yeah, very nice. And one thing that you were saying before was to make sure that your butter is at room temperature, is that right?
Yeah, your butter and your cream cheese have to be at room temperature. One of the main things to do with buttercream icings and things is often when things are at different temperatures, then they might split. If it's been too warm, you can always put the mixture in the fridge and then just whiz it really quickly with a mixer. And if it's too cold and everything's split, you can take a small amount of it, put it in the microwave, melt it till it's liquid, and then pour that in while it's mixing, and it will also come together again.
Oh, fantastic. Well, that's a bit of a pro tip right there.
Right, so now this is done till smooth. So let's add the icing sugar. Some people do all this sifting, which for icing sugar can help a little bit, but I just prefer just to beat it a little bit harder. Yeah, you can go for it. I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla as well, actually, to give a bit more flavour.
Nice. And so now that you have won the Great British Bake Off, congratulations. What are you up to at the minute?
Oh my goodness, there's so many things. Like when you win a show like this, there's a lot of opportunities that come along. But it also gives you a really good platform. So for me, it's really important. I've worked in the charity sector my whole life. I work for VSO. So it's really important for me to use that platform to spread really good messages. So I've been doing a lot of different charity work. But I'm also writing a book that's for kids, teaching kids how to cook, not just baking. And that's kind of especially to try and get people excited and understand food and nutrition, because I work in health. I'm also writing a column for The Guardian, and that has it's more healthy bakes, especially for exercise. And I'm going to do some teaching for kids in a cookery school as well. So there's quite a lot of different things I'm doing.
Wow, your schedule must be so busy. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, but I'm also still working for VSO, so you can still find me in the medical team, working 3 days a week. So yeah, a lot going on. So I think these are done. We can see that they're risen. So let's take these out. Ooh. Do they smell nice?
They smell really nice, I have to say. Yeah, and they're looking quite good actually.
Looking quite perky.
Yeah, definitely.
You can kind of get a bit of a banana smell, can't you?
Yeah, it smells.
One banana.
It's like banana bread a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm interested to try them.
Yeah.
We've got to let them cool now, though.
Okay.
This is going to melt, otherwise.
Yes.
And with the magic of TV, we have our lovely cooled cakes here already. So let's ice them.
Ooh. Okay.
Has a spoon?
Thank you.
Obviously, on things like Bake Off, you would pipe this on beautifully, but that's not always necessary. I think just giving a good splodge of it on. How are you finding it?
Yeah, no, it's good. I think you're right. You do just have to splodge it on and see how it goes. But you seem a bit more practiced than me. I'll get the knack. Yeah.
Cool. And the real testing is going to be in the tasting.
Yeah, let's see how these go down in the office.
These cakes went down an absolute treat. I hope you have a go at making these yourself and enjoy them as much as we did. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to VSO for more from us.